Special Investigating Unit is probing over 658 COVID-19 personal protective equipment tenders at last count, and of course they are receiving more investigations as the time continues. Well, this relates to over 5 billion rands. But this number is likely to increase as more cases are referred to the SIU every week. Joining me to talk about this now is SIU spokesperson Kaiser Kganyago. Kganyago, good evening, and thank you very much for your time tonight. Well, listen, 658 cases at last count. I don't know where they are sitting right now, currently under your microscope. What qualifies those tenders to come under your microscope?
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Mdluli. We were talking about 658 contracts that we were looking at as at the last time we were presenting to SCOPA on that issue, because we also presented again today on the Bait Breach order issue. Therefore, but at that point, we also, immediately after that, we also received allegations that were provided to us by the Limpopo province, which then added 3 departments, which is the Department of Health, Education, and Cogstar, plus the that contract that was about the Mikuku that was in the papers previously. Therefore, that can easily add about another 100 contracts onto that. And we're getting more and more on a day-to-day basis, but we are geared up to deal with them. The question, what qualifies the matters to come to us, is as long as the allegations are about maladministration and corruption in procurement processes around the PPEs and all the COVID-related expenditure, they fall within the proclamation, which is Proclamation R23 of 2020, and all of those allegations with evidence can be provided to us, and we will follow them up.
Of those 700 or so, how many have been referred to the tribunal?
Yes, for now, we're dealing on a case-by-case basis. If you were following the news, you would have realized that in the past week, we got a court order that was freezing the accounts from the special tribunal. They were freezing account of about 40 companies, and that was just to make sure that when we ultimately finalize the investigation, we shouldn't have a hollow judgments. We must be in a position to find where the money is. In this particular instance, we were able to trace the money when it entered the account and where it went to. That's why we followed it and we blocked it. And for us, it is very important that we do that. But as far as the special tribunal is concerned, we have got so far about 26 cases that are already waiting to be heard at the special tribunal. And we are taking more. For example, the issue of the Bait Breach will be going there in the next week or so to add up to those numbers to make sure that we cancel those contracts that needs to be cancelled and recover, which is the basic reason to recover the money that would have been lost from the state.
Now, when President Cyril Ramaphosa signed the proclamation giving you orders as the SIU to investigate allegations, it was said that you need to report on a 6-weekly basis. Where is that report? The public would like to see it and get a sense and confidence in this body that you are doing what you're saying you're doing.
Yeah, if you can count, you will realize that the 6 weeks will be around about the 3rd of September. Therefore, we are still about to give the first report, which is somewhere there on the 3rd or so of September. And it will be the decision of the president whether we should publicize that at that point or what needs to happen. But we will always come back to the public and report back and say, this is what has happened.
Now, speaking to Mkhuleko Hlengwa moments ago, MP's patience is running thin, and I can tell you South African patience, from all the messages that we're reading here tonight, is also running thin. In terms of the processes, what is preventing the SIU from acting with speed?
We definitely are acting with speed, and I think in the past investigations you will know that we have acted with speed. Let's take a simple example. When the lockdown started, we had that contract that was entered into the e-governance contract in Gauteng. We were able to finalize that contract within 2.5 weeks, and we gave the report there. And then this one that we were talking about today in Parliament, we started it on the 28th of April. By the 30th of April, we were done with the whole investigation. We had already submitted the report. We are pushing them. Look at the example with the ones in the Gauteng PPEs. We've already pushed. We've already opened cases against companies. We've already made references to the department to make sure that they discipline the CFO and the head of the SCM. And all of those things were done within a very short space of time. We are pushing ourselves. Our people are working overnight. They are working over weekends to make sure that we finalize these processes. As we speak, all of those things are done. Like, for example, yesterday, our people went to the Department of Education in the Eastern Cape to go and seize some of the documents and mirror some of the computers to make sure that the investigations are fast-tracked. Therefore, we cannot say that we are slow in doing our work. We've done so much work and will continue to do that.
And what's the level of coordination then with the NPA? Because if you've investigated, then there's evidence. Why are they not prosecuting?
Yeah, obviously, we're working together with all law enforcement agencies, and obviously there are processes that they need to follow as the NPA to make sure that the cases are ready to go to court. We will do our part. I always say this, Thabo, that we have got three things that we want to achieve in any investigation. One, we make sure that when we find that the contract was entered into illegally, and we set it aside and make sure that we recover the money. That is one thing that we have got control over. But the second one, when we find criminality, we don't have the rights as per the legislation that founded us. Therefore, we have to then submit it to the NPA for them to take it from there. But in as far as the other leg, which is the disciplinary hearing, like in the case of today with the bait breach, we have already recommended to the department to say, here is evidence. There are 14 people that needs to be, these are the names of the people, discipline them, and we will participate as witnesses in those disciplinary hearings. Those are the things that we do. But we work together as law enforcement agencies. For example, when we wanted to freeze the accounts of the people in Gauteng, we worked with the Financial Intelligence Center because they have got the power to freeze those accounts for 10 days to allow us space to take the matters to court, which they did very successfully, and we were able to go to court and get an interim order to have the accounts continue to be freezed until the 6th of October when the matter will be ventilated.